Hi everyone, I'm Emerson from Primodium,
I'm Henry.
and here we are presenting our game built on top of MUD. So Primodium is a fully on-chain game where the premise is that you're dropped onto a resource-rich asteroid, and you're trying to also conquer other asteroids and battle with other players on the same game map. So here's our team. We have a team of 5 working on Primodium, including Hank here, and we're going to have a demo for the game itself.
Because it's live
Yeah.
on testnet.
Primodium is live on a 1 tick per second testnet with 30 million gas. And when you launch the game, you start with a main base on an asteroid, and your objective is to build mines. So as soon as I build my first mine, you'll see that right here, I start generating resources and mining resources over time. And the goal is to build more mines to obtain more resources. And as you can see, here are more and more mines that are mining iron over here. Once you acquire more resources, you'll have research objectives, such as expanding your range of the asteroid itself, or researching units and additional capabilities for combating and fighting against other players. So this is a map of all the other players that are also within Primodium itself. This current version was launched around 3 weeks ago on our own testnet. And we're launching a new version soon with newer features and asteroids where we can conquer. But at the moment, you have these asteroids with special resources like platinum and titanium that you can mine and extract things from. So we also have a player leaderboard where you can also connect your own player wallet to display your own spot, and you get more points by acquiring more resources over time. So this is a new session that I've just launched to also showcase the starting state. Eventually, you can get to a state where you have a lot more buildings on your base, and you could have specific actions from within each base, like upgrading a special building, generating more resources like iron plates, and also making more fleets and deploying them, and having utility and power generation generated by these solar panels over here. So yeah, these are the buildings of Primodium, and these are the upgrades that would require more buildings to be upgraded, and so on. All the game state is stored on chain and built with MUD, and it's also currently live on our own testnet. So building with MUD has also allowed us to iterate really quickly with the game design mechanics that we would want to test, because as Kushaba also mentioned, building everything on chain has a unique set of constraints, such as ticks per second, that we would have to design around. So this is actually the first version of Primodium that we launched back in April, which started out with factorial game mechanics, where you have a main base, and everything is also asynchronous, such that you have to claim from a base, and each resources slowly pipes into the base and so on. And we moved to a bigger map with more players. This was our playtest from 2 months ago, where because everyone shares the exact same game state, we can have a better sense of scale on how many people join onto our playtest. And after this version, we also learned that having a shared world with everyone could also lead to a lack of objective, so to engender a sense of achievement and happiness for players that are progressing more and more within the game itself, we introduced different elements with our current latest version of Primodium. And yeah, so to summarize, you have these rare resources that you want to acquire from asteroids. You compete against and then you compete against other players. What we want to do with Primodium as well is to design Primodium with crypto and building everything natively as our first consideration. Because if we don't do so, then we'll just be competing with all the other Web2 games out there. So our eventual goal is to build an entire in-game economy built on top of MUD with the resources within our game, so that players can buy and sell and trade these resources within the game itself amongst each other, and also to compose on top of this set of smart contracts that we have. We also have one more thing.
So a lot of people in the MUD community were getting pissy because there were NFTs in MUD. And so I decided for a hackathon to see how hard it would be for me to build a MUD token integration myself. I think generally this is something I love about the community is that since all of this software is open source and kind of being built communally, there's a strong sense of people wanting to contribute to the protocol, contribute to these core code bases. And so that was also part of the incentive for me to build this token library. And so as you can see, MUD is pretty complicated. There's a lot of moving parts. And since there's a lot of different smart contracts going on, it's tough to have a single source for a token like you would find on a token contract on OpenSea. And so my goals for this were to make it so that you could have one contract that contained the token while also being able to have the dynamic composability and customization that you can get built in with MUD. And so this is what I came up with. All you have to do in your MUD code base is install your token in the post deploy script, and then you can access the full functionality of the token through this library that I've created. And then you profit. I think I wanted to have a demo ready for today. I started it 30 minutes ago, and I didn't finish it. So sorry about that, but it should work. And there's an NPM package that you can just import it right into your project to use it. And so yeah, that's part of the Primodium mission, is to also contribute back into the community so we can have this ecosystem that's really strong of both game designers, protocol designers, people in between who are all contributing to create this platform, which is the future of development of Ethereum. Yeah, this is more technical stuff.
Yeah, our game is currently live at primodium.com. So come join us on our testnet, and that's our Twitter handle there. Thanks for listening.
Going to be first to incorporate the created token? Is like an in-game currency or some other aspect?
Oh, the in-game resources. Yeah.
Everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
The whole game is going to be, all the resources are going to be tokens one day. Yeah.
Every number is tokenified.
You what?
But never mind. I have a related question, actually. Going back to that riveting slide, number 3.
What, this?
No.
Or this? Everyone's favorite slide.
Any like commercialization of any game? Well, it's two things. Like, one, how do I profit as a player? And two, how do you profit as a company?
Well, that's something that we're going to have more consideration about, and we can also discuss this some other time as well.
Yeah. Don't want to shout out for secret sauce here.
Why did the community get pissy about the tokens?
I think people want to be able to have NFTs in their crypto game. And so, like going into a code base, you want to be able to integrate your shitcoins, you know. But more generally, because they are like just the standard, and you want to have the standards ready to go and easy to access for your project, especially as we kind of move out of these more niche experimental projects that have kind of led up to this point, and now we're kind of entering an era where we're seeing more complexity and more of a drive towards these larger, more complex concepts.
Cool.